Everybody on YouTube. This is kind of the same view that I really like and I like to put on my videos, but this is a whole different idea on this video. I want to explain something that seems to be a topic for a lot of people. It's been filtration talk going along lately, and talk about sumps, and there's this horrible fear of sumps overflowing. Now I know that they have, and I know that they can, but I also know that it's preventable. And I'm going to do a little explanation of how I've come to pass and how I've experienced overflows with overflow boxes and U-tubes and pre-drilled tanks and different sizes of pumps, and learning where my return outlet should be, and different things that I've done that make mine bulletproof, that I do not have to worry about ever overflowing. And I want to share that with you to get rid of this fear for people wanting to have a sump, because sumps have the most tremendous amount of biological media. That they offer extra water volume, they offer a place to put your heaters. There's so many benefits that can be had by having a sump. I also like canisters for their mechanical possibilities. I can run my foam sponges in them, and I can also put my carbon. I like that option. I can put different things in the in the canisters. They also give me good output for a little more water surface agitation. But I'm going to show you. Let's move in on this. These are the returns from my Sump 1800 gallon mag drive return pump. If you notice, there may be half an inch at the most underneath the surface of the water. A mistake that people make occasionally that I've heard of is they have them deep. They want them to move water down lower, so they put them down lower, and when your pump goes out, your power goes out, they act as a siphon, and from wherever they are, wherever those openings are that you're seeing right there, that's where they start sucking water. And they won't stop sucking until the water is not there anymore. So if you have them midway down, in this tank, that'd be horrible. That'd be 270 gallons of water going in there. It would overflow anything. But even in the smallest tank, if you have them 4 inches down, you could still be sucking 25 or 30 gallons back into your sump. Now, a lot of people have an idea that a sump has to be a certain size. It's awesome to have the biggest sump possible, just because you have more water volume, you have more playroom, we'll say. And it does give you more water space. If power goes out, you do have more space for the water to go down to. But I'm going to show you that that's another myth, that you have to have a tremendous amount of sump if you have a tremendous amount of tank. According to most people's opinions, a 540 gallon aquarium would need probably at least 100 to 125 gallon sump. And it's nice, it's wonderful, but I don't need the extra water volume. And I have a 75 gallon sump, and I have these media towers that I made that they work just fantastic. You know, Joey, that one they call the king of DIY. I learned this years ago watching his videos. You just drill them out right, and they hold all the media you could want. I've had the high dollar wet dry sumps, but you just even they rated a 300 gallon aquarium with a 33 gallon sump. It's all how you have it dialed in. It's how you have it set up. And you don't have to spend a fortune to have a good working sump. I mean, the biggest, my 180 gallon mag drive return pump, because of the volume I want to push, was my biggest cost here. And you can sometimes find a 75 gallon tank, $75 or $100 on Craigslist or on your local sales website, used sales website. So you don't have to spend a fortune on a tank. You don't have to have a fancy acrylic specialty tank for your sump. You know, it's nice to have one with chambers that's designed properly, absolutely, but this works perfectly. I've got a tremendous amount of media here. There's two of these identical towers. I have pot scrubbies and 18 bags of bio rings in each bottom tray. Then I have a gallon of bio balls. Then I have some more bio media in a little tray there. And then I have a blue and white filter pad in the top that I change regularly. And that's where my water comes in. Like I said, I like the opportunity of having my canisters, so I have a Fluval FX4 there. I'm not going to push Fluval as a brand. I like it. I've had many other canisters. I do like these. Nothing bad to say about them. But I'm sure there's a lot of others that I have nothing bad to say about. And I'm going to take you over here real quick, and I have an FX6 over here. Not saying that I like Fluval that much, but I like Fluval. I think they work great for me. They're simple, they're strong enough, they got plenty of capacity, and I have no complaints about them. Now let's talk about Sump. Let's talk about where the people have flood problems. And let's debunk that myth. If you do it right. Those little lines right there, I just recently did a water change, and I usually go just over the line because I don't have any fears. But those two lines represent the difference between the power on, where it is right now, and that 3 inches right there, 3.5 inches between line to line, when the power goes off, is as much as I get into this from this enormous 540 gallon tank and this little 75 gallon sump. That's all it raises, about 3.5 inches when the power goes out. I've got my returns like I was showing you just barely under the surface, so they don't suck a lot of water. And the Stockmans, if you look up there, you can see I got glare today. I didn't want to do this with the glare, but I just don't have any other time, and I want to share this. This is itching me. I just want to share this. It's a 2 to 4 inch top where I have it drilled with 14 half-inch holes, and then it comes down to a 2 inch, which goes down to 1.5 inches, which 1.5 inches comes the rest of the way in, identical on both sides. So basically what I'm saying is I have about possibility at full siphon 2,100 gallons per side. So I have full siphon 4,200 gallons per total, and I don't have it running full siphon. I don't like the water adjustment, the constant up and down the toilet bowl sounds. I've got my air hole vent drilled at the top of the Stockman cap, and it's just, I mean, there's a lot of water moving around in this tank, and there's a little trickle sound, but there is nothing disturbing about it. I'm very happy with the quietness to it. And so why I mentioned the volume of the drain, I'm going to mention the 1,800 gallon return pump again. If you have more water coming into the tank than you have going back, it is impossible to overflow. You don't need gate valves, you don't need ball valves, you don't need anything special to adjust it. This is just that simple. If you have more water that can come in than can go back out, it will not overflow. Your pump will only push as much as it can push. It will not overrun what's coming in if more can come in. And if, as I showed you, the return pumps, the outlets only let that much water in when the power outage, both sides are covered. It can't overflow going out, it can't overflow coming in. It's just that simple. And I don't know how else to explain it. I mean, if anyone has questions or curiosities, by all means ask me and I can get into more detail. I did a little detail here. Let's see if this helps anybody. This is a picture that I drew, and it shows a sump and a tank, and it shows the flows, and it's just showing how the water returns have to be up high. It's as simple as this silly little picture. I mean, the benefits to the sump are off the charts. They control ammonia, it controls the nitrate, I mean, my ammonia is 0. My nitrite is 0. My nitrate is 0.5. pH out of my tap is 7.6. It's just barely low on the cichlid side, but it's stable. It comes out of my tap at that, so I'm not going to mess with it. I don't know what else that I can say to make it any more beneficial. I mean, we're looking for clarity and quality, and a sump gives you both. It gives you the water clarity along with a lot of glare in the afternoon, but it also gives you the numbers, the quality. It gives you the extra water volume. It's just, you can't get that out of a canister. This media never changes. Only thing I change in this is the pads. The pads at the top, I change them. There's no cleaning. I just transferred this one from the Beast, and I transferred all this media from the 150 gallon tank I had before that and the 180 gallon tank I had before that. Now, I've been running sumps for about 7 years now, and this is oh goodness, I'm going into about my 3rd year on this media. I just keep it seated. Every time I switch tanks, I move it right over. The tank's already cycled. You don't cycle the tank, you cycle the media. You got to get the media mature to handle the load, the bioload it's about to experience. There's really no beneficial bacteria in the water column. There's a little bit in the substrate, but it's right here in these media towers and this biomedia where it's at. So by all means, ask questions. I hope this video is of some benefit to people who are curious about overflowing and flooding, because if you do it right, you take your time, you have your pump dialed in, not by ball valves or gate valves. You just get a little bit smaller pump, then you have the capacity for the water coming in. With the overflow boxes, they have 1 inch. I had a 1200 gallon per hour eShops overflow box that had 2 1-inch U-tubes. So in theory, or actually physically, 1200 gallons of water was going into it, and I had a 1200 gallon return pump. So after head loss, I was at maybe 950 gallons per hour going back. Never gave me a bit of problem. The only problem with the U-tubes, the only concerns there could be losing siphon. Fortunately, I never did, so I have no complaints regarding the siphon in the U-tubes. But this is bulletproof. These can't lose siphon. The water goes up when the power comes back on. They start draining like they're supposed to. It balances right out. Always keeps the level in the tank right. Evaporation is in the sump. Your water level in your tank will always stay the same. And those little Sun 800 gallon per hour wave makers are they're kicking. Like I said in the video yesterday, agitation is very important. Gas transfer, getting the oxygenation in the water. Happy fish. Thanks for watching. By all means, subscribe or comment. Thanks a lot. Take care.